Have you ever stepped out of the shower and felt a sudden wave of dizziness? Or noticed your heart beating just a little too fast and dismissed it with a thought like, well, I'm not as young as I used to be? What if I told you that this daily ritual, something we've done for decades without a second thought, could be secretly raising your risk of a stroke? It might sound unbelievable, but for many older adults, the smallest habits in the bathroom can have a major impact on the brain and heart. Picture this. It's late at night, the house is quiet, and a warm shower feels like the perfect way to unwind. Or maybe it's early morning, and you crave that refreshing splash of cold water to jolt you awake. These moments feel harmless, even comforting, but hidden within them are risks that doctors have been warning about for years, risks that particularly affect those of us over 60. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 dangerous showering habits that could increase your chance of a stroke without you ever realizing it. Some of these may surprise you because they feel so normal, so ingrained in our daily lives. And that is precisely what makes them so risky. We don't think to question them until something serious happens. If you've ever wondered whether your shower routine is truly safe, type the number 1 in the comments. If this is the first time you're considering it, just type 0. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Health 365, because your health deserves daily care and attention. Now, let's step right in and discuss the very first shower habit that could be silently putting your health at risk. Taking a shower late at night might seem like the perfect way to cap off a long day, but for older adults, it can quietly become a dangerous routine. As the sun sets, the temperature outside drops, and so does our body's core temperature. In our younger years, our blood vessels are elastic. They adapt quickly, expanding and contracting to keep our circulation stable. But as we reach our 60s and beyond, our arteries lose that flexibility. They become stiffer, more fragile, and less able to respond to sudden changes. Stepping into a shower late at night, especially in a chilly bathroom, can cause those vessels to constrict abruptly. This constriction restricts blood flow to the brain and heart, increasing the risk of a stroke. Doctors describe it simply. When the body cools suddenly, the vessels act like an old, brittle garden hose. Instead of stretching, they clamp down, causing blood pressure to spike or circulation to plummet in just a few minutes. I once had a patient, a 70-year-old man from Ohio, who swore by his midnight showers. He believed they helped him sleep. One cold evening, he stepped out of the bathroom, told his wife he felt lightheaded, and minutes later, he collapsed. At the hospital, scans confirmed he had suffered a stroke. The doctors explained that the sudden vessel constriction from showering late at night was a major contributing factor. His family was shocked. A habit that had seemed harmless for years had nearly cost him his life. So how can you protect yourself? The safest option is to avoid showering too late. If you enjoy an evening shower, try to take it earlier, before the late-night temperature drop makes your body more vulnerable. Ensure your bathroom is warm before you step in. Running the hot water for a few minutes or using a small space heater can help stabilize the environment. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel chilled, dizzy, or your heart starts racing, get out of the shower immediately and rest. Staying healthy at this age isn't about giving up comfort. It's about adjusting our routines to support our heart and brain. And as we'll see next, even a refreshing cold shower in the morning can hold unexpected dangers. Many people swear by a morning cold shower, claiming it's the fastest way to feel awake and energized. That icy blast might sound harmless, but for older adults, it can place enormous stress on the heart and brain. The moment cold water hits the skin, blood vessels constrict sharply, It's the body's natural response to preserve heat, but it also forces the heart to pump much harder through narrowed vessels. For someone in their 60s or 70s, that sudden pressure can be overwhelming. Think of it like forcing water through an old, stiff pipe. The pressure builds rapidly, and instead of flowing smoothly, it can cause cracks or blockages. In the human body, this translates to a dangerous spike in blood pressure, and in some cases the formation of clots that can travel to the brain. That's when a stroke can strike without warning. I'll never forget what happened to my neighbor, Mr. Harris. At 70, he was strong, independent, and loved trying new health trends. After reading about the benefits of cold showers, he decided to start his mornings with freezing water. For a few weeks, he told everyone how refreshed he felt. But one morning, after stepping out of the shower, he collapsed on his porch. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors confirmed he'd had a stroke. The shock of the cold water was simply too much for his aging circulatory system. His family was devastated, because it all started with what seemed like such a harmless routine. So, what's the safer choice? Instead of plunging directly into cold water, start with lukewarm water. If you enjoy the cold, you can gradually lower the temperature at the very end. This allows your body to adjust slowly without the shock. And if you have high blood pressure or any heart condition, it's best to avoid cold showers altogether. Protecting your health isn't about abandoning every comfort. It's about making wise, small, daily choices. As we'll see next, even the opposite extreme, soaking too long in hot water, can create risks that are just as serious. Many of us love the deep comfort of a long, hot soak. It feels like the perfect way to ease sore muscles and quiet the mind. But for older adults, staying too long in hot water can be a hidden danger. When your body is exposed to high heat, your blood vessels expand. This sudden dilation causes your blood pressure to drop, sometimes so quickly that your brain and heart are deprived of the blood they need. For someone with high blood pressure or heart disease, this sudden drop can be life-threatening. When we soak in hot water for too long, our vessels expand, blood pressure falls, and circulation slows. This sluggish blood flow increases the risk of clots forming, and if a clot travels to the brain, a stroke can occur. My older brother, who is in his late 60s, experienced this firsthand. He loved soaking in the tub after a day of gardening, often for more than half an hour. One evening, after a particularly long bath, he stood up and suddenly felt faint. Within moments, he collapsed. Thankfully, he was rushed to the hospital in time. The doctors explained that the combination of vessel dilation and low blood pressure had nearly triggered a stroke. That day changed how he thinks about relaxation. To stay safe, it's best to limit hot baths or showers to around 10 to 15 minutes, and make sure the water is warm, not scalding. If you start to feel lightheaded or your heart begins to race, get out immediately and rest. If you have a history of high blood pressure or cardiovascular issues, talk with your doctor before making hot baths a regular habit. Taking care of your health isn't about giving up comfort. It's about knowing when a relaxing soak crosses the line into danger. And just like avoiding late-night showers or cold blasts, this small change could save your life. Next, let's talk about another common mistake: forgetting to drink water before stepping into the shower. Most people don't think twice about showering without having a glass of water first. After all, it's just a shower, not a workout. But the truth is, stepping into the bathroom while your body is even slightly dehydrated can be risky, especially for older adults. When your body lacks sufficient fluids, your blood becomes thicker, almost like syrup. thicker blood flows more slowly, which makes it easier for clots to form. And once a clot reaches the brain, the risk of a stroke rises sharply. Doctors often call dehydration a silent danger. As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes. So many older adults don't even realize they're running low on fluids. Then, when the warm steam from the shower causes you to sweat, even lightly, dehydration can worsen without any warning. The combination of thicker blood and slower circulation can quickly put your body in a perilous state. My aunt, who is 68, once had a frightening experience. She often skipped drinking water in the morning and would head straight for the shower. One day, she felt incredibly lightheaded and nearly fainted as she stepped out of the bathroom. After that scare, her doctor explained that dehydration had made her blood too thick and her circulation too weak. Since then, she always drinks a glass of water, about 8 ounces, 15 to 20 minutes before showering. Within a few weeks, she noticed the difference. No more dizziness, no more sudden fatigue. That simple adjustment gave her peace of mind every single morning. The guidance is clear. Drinking a glass of water at least 15 minutes before showering gives your body time to absorb it and stabilize your circulation. If you wait until the last second, your body won't get the full benefit. Keeping a glass by your bedside or in the kitchen can make it an easy habit to remember. It may seem like a small step, but it protects your brain and heart in a powerful way. And as we move on, we'll see why showering when you're already feeling dizzy, weak, or unwell is another risk that older adults should never ignore. Many people think a quick shower can help when they're feeling off, whether it's a headache, dizziness, or just a heavy, tired feeling. But for older adults, showering when the body already feels unwell can make things much worse. When you're dizzy or weak, it often means your brain is already struggling to get enough oxygen and blood. The sudden temperature changes in a shower add extra strain, sometimes pushing the body over the edge and triggering a stroke. Doctors warn that these moments are especially risky because the body's signals are often dismissed. An older adult might brush off dizziness as simple fatigue or a headache as something minor, but these can be early warning signs of circulation problems or rising blood pressure. Adding the stress of a hot or cold shower only magnifies the danger. I remember what happened to my neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins. She was 65 and frequently had mild headaches. One afternoon, she decided to take a warm shower, hoping it would help her relax. But just minutes later, she collapsed in the bathroom. Her husband rushed her to the hospital, where she was diagnosed with a mild stroke. The doctors explained that her headache wasn't just a small discomfort. It was her body's warning sign. The heat from the shower had lowered her blood pressure even further, cutting off the vital blood supply to her brain. Fortunately, she received treatment in time, but the experience taught her never to ignore her body's signals. The advice is simple but powerful. If you feel dizzy, unusually tired, or develop a sudden headache, do not get in the shower. Rest first. Drink some water and give your body time to recover. If the symptoms persist, call your doctor instead of pushing through with your routine. The shower can wait, your health cannot. Small choices, like postponing a shower when you feel unwell, can prevent life-changing consequences. And as we'll see next, even something as seemingly harmless as showering right after exercise can be another hidden danger for older adults. After a good workout, or even just some strenuous yard work, the urge to jump straight into the shower is strong. The idea of washing away sweat immediately feels refreshing. But for older adults, this habit can be risky. During exercise, your blood vessels naturally expand to deliver more oxygen to your muscles. At the same time, your body loses water through sweat, leaving you slightly dehydrated. If you step into a shower right away, especially a warm or hot one, your blood pressure can drop suddenly. This rapid drop can starve the brain and heart of oxygen, sometimes triggering a stroke. Doctors often compare it to shifting gears too quickly in a car. The engine has been running at high speed, and if you suddenly slam it into neutral without a cool-down period, you risk damaging the parts. In the body, it's that sudden shift from intense exercise to a hot shower that shocks the circulatory system. My older cousin, who is in his late 60s, had a close call with this. He loved his morning walks and light jogs. One summer day, after sweating heavily, he came home and went straight into the shower without resting or drinking water. Within minutes, he felt dizzy. His vision blurred, and he nearly fell. Thankfully, his wife was nearby to help him. At the hospital, the doctor explained that the combination of dehydration and vessel dilation had caused his blood pressure to plummet. That immediate shower had pushed his body into a dangerous state. The safer approach is simple. After exercising, give your body at least 15 to 20 minutes to cool down. Sit down, drink a glass of water, and allow your heart rate to return closer to normal before you head for the bathroom. This short pause allows your circulation to stabilize and reduces the risk of a sudden drop in blood pressure. It might feel like a small delay, but it can protect you from a life-threatening event. Now, let's look at one final common mistake: showering right after a heavy meal or taking medication, which can be just as dangerous for older adults. For many older adults, showering right after a big meal or taking daily medication feels like a natural part of their routine. It seems like a simple way to feel clean and refreshed. But this habit can quietly put the brain at risk. After you eat, a large volume of blood is diverted to your stomach and intestines to aid in digestion. If you step into a shower immediately, the warm water simultaneously pulls blood toward the surface of your skin. This sudden competition can leave the brain with insufficient circulation. For older adults with fragile vessels, this can create the perfect conditions for a stroke. Doctors describe it as a tug-of-war. On one side, your digestive system is demanding more blood to break down food. On the other, the heat from the shower is causing the vessels in your skin to dilate and pull blood away. The brain, caught in the middle, gets shortchanged. When its oxygen supply drops, the risk of clots forming or vessels collapsing rises sharply. I remember what happened to my friend's father, Mr. Thompson, who was 65. After a large Sunday lunch, he took his blood pressure medicine and decided to shower right away. Minutes later, he felt weak and collapsed in the bathroom. At the hospital, doctors confirmed he had suffered a mild stroke. They explained that the timing, eating a large meal, taking medication, and then immediately showering, had combined to critically lower blood flow to his brain. His family was stunned because it was such an ordinary, everyday routine. The solution is straightforward. After a meal, wait at least 30 to 60 minutes before showering. This gives your body time to begin digestion without overwhelming your circulatory system. If you've just taken medication, especially for blood pressure or a heart condition, be extra cautious. Sit and rest for a while before stepping into the shower. Drinking a little water can also help keep your blood flowing smoothly. Protecting your health often comes down to patience. A short wait can save you from a dangerous outcome. Now that we've explored all 7 risky shower habits, let's bring everything together with a warm reminder about the small choices that truly keep you safe. We've walked through 7 everyday shower habits that may seem ordinary, but carry hidden dangers for older adults. What feels like a simple routine, a late-night bath, a cold splash in the morning, or a shower right after a meal, can quietly strain the heart, the brain, and our fragile blood vessels. The good news, however, is that every single one of these risks can be managed with small, thoughtful changes. Drinking a glass of water before you bathe, waiting a little while after you exercise or eat, and simply paying attention to how your body feels can turn a risky habit into a safe and healthy one. Your health isn't built on grand, dramatic decisions. It's shaped by the small, daily choices you make over time. By protecting yourself in these simple ways, you're not only lowering your risk of a stroke, but also giving yourself more years of independence, energy, and time with the people you love. Think of these habits as small acts of self-care, gifts you give yourself every day. So I encourage you to take a moment and ask, which of these habits might I need to adjust in my own life? Even one small change today can make a world of difference tomorrow. Have you ever heard of someone who went for an evening walk and never came back? It's a heartbreaking thought, but it happens more often than we imagine. A quiet evening stroll, something so ordinary and peaceful, turning into a moment that changes everything. For many older adults, the danger doesn't always come from a fall or from traffic. It's something deeper, something happening silently inside the body. Now I know what you're thinking. Walking is supposed to be healthy, right? And it absolutely is. But not all walks are created equal. The time of day, the weather, even how you move your arms or when you last ate, these factors can silently turn a harmless stroll into a health hazard. So today, we're going to talk about something most people overlook. 6 walking habits that can actually raise your risk of a stroke, especially as we get older. You might be surprised how small changes to your routine can make a big difference in keeping your heart and brain safe. But don't worry, this isn't going to be a lecture. Think of this as a friendly chat, where we figure out how to walk smarter, not harder. Some of what you'll hear might sound familiar, but today we're digging into the why and what you can do to stay safe. If you've ever gone on an evening walk, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments. If not, hit us with a 0. And don't forget to subscribe to Health 365 so we can keep bringing you tips that truly matter. All right, let's dive into the first thing that might be making your evening walks riskier than they should be. Many people enjoy evening walks. They feel peaceful. The sun is down. The world seems to slow down. But here's something surprising. Not all evening walks are good for you. In fact, walking too late at night, especially after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock p.m., could be quietly raising your stroke risk. You see, our bodies follow a circadian rhythm, a natural internal clock that tells us when to be active and when to rest. As the sun sets, our bodies begin to wind down. But when you head out for a walk late in the evening, particularly a brisk one that gets your heart rate up, you can send mixed signals to your brain. Instead of calming down, your sympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for your fight or flight response, kicks into gear. Your heart beats faster, your blood pressure rises, and instead of preparing for rest, your body gets revved up as if it's ready for a marathon. For older adults, this sudden stimulation late at night can be risky. Higher nighttime blood pressure is one of the biggest hidden threats. It's a startling fact that many strokes occur during the quiet hours of sleep, and a spike in blood pressure just before bed might be a hidden culprit. In fact, sleep specialists and cardiologists have noted that patients who exercise late at night often report poorer sleep quality and, in some cases, irregular heart rhythms. Think about it. Have you ever gone for a walk after dinner and then found it difficult to drift off? That restless feeling, maybe a pounding in your chest, or even waking in a sweat. That could be your body sending a clear signal that it's overstimulated. And it's not just about sleep. When you walk late, especially after a large meal, your body is performing double duty, digesting food while also keeping your muscles in motion. This creates a tug of war for blood flow, splitting it between your digestive system and your limbs. The unfortunate consequence is that less oxygen may reach your brain. For some, particularly those with a history of high blood pressure or heart problems, this can tip the balance toward dizziness, lightheadedness, or even more serious events. So what can you do? Try to schedule your walks earlier in the evening, ideally before sunset. Even better, consider a gentle, calming walk in the early morning, when the air is fresh and your body is naturally awakening. This way, you can enjoy the benefits of movement without disrupting your internal clock. Now, let's consider another walking habit that seems harmless, but might be quietly affecting your brain. Have you ever noticed how you carry yourself during a walk? Perhaps slouched over, staring down at the ground? It may seem like a small detail, but your posture could be subtly reducing the amount of oxygen that reaches your brain. When we walk with poor posture, head tilted forward, shoulders hunched, arms held stiffly at our sides, it does more than just affect our appearance. It actually disrupts our circulation. You see, our bodies are designed to move in harmony. Proper posture opens the chest, allowing our lungs to fill with ease and our heart to pump efficiently. But when we're bent over, even slightly, that natural flow is compromised. Less blood flow to the brain means less oxygen and fewer nutrients getting where they need to go. For older adults, this can lead to feeling lightheaded, off balance, or even faint. In some cases, if a person has underlying vascular issues, it could increase the risk of a mini-stroke, what doctors call a transient ischemic attack, or TIA. While it might only last a few minutes, a TIA is often a warning sign of something more serious on the horizon. A study at the University of Tsukuba in Japan examined how posture affects blood flow during walking. Researchers found that when people walked with a forward-leaning posture and limited arm movement, blood flow to the brain dropped significantly compared to those who walked upright with a natural stride. That's a crucial insight, especially for seniors who may already be at risk for circulation problems. Think about your last walk. Were your shoulders relaxed? Were your arms swinging freely? Or were you perhaps clutching a phone, looking down, or walking with your hands in your pockets? Making a simple shift in how you carry yourself can do wonders for your circulation. The next time you head out, try this. Stand tall, roll your shoulders back, keep your gaze ahead, and let your arms swing naturally. You'll not only feel more confident, but you'll also be helping your brain get the oxygen it needs to keep you sharp and steady. Next, let's explore a habit that nearly everyone engages in without a second thought. And it has everything to do with what's on your plate. Walking immediately after a meal might seem like a good idea. Many people believe it helps with digestion or burns off a few extra calories. But the truth is, if you hit the sidewalk before your body has had a chance to digest, you could be putting your brain at risk. After you eat, your body shifts its focus. blood rushes to your digestive system to break down food and absorb nutrients. This is why you might feel a little drowsy after a big meal. Your body is redirecting its energy inward, but when you start walking too soon, especially at a brisk pace, your muscles begin competing for that same blood flow. Your legs demand more oxygen, while your stomach insists it's still working. And caught in the middle of this competition for resources? Your brain. When blood flow is divided between digestion and physical activity, the amount of oxygen reaching your brain can decrease. This might lead to dizziness, blurred vision, or even confusion. For many, it just feels like being a bit off. But for those with a history of high blood pressure, heart issues, or atherosclerosis, those hidden blockages in the arteries, it could trigger a more serious event, like a mini-stroke. In a case series published in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology, several older patients reported episodes of lightheadedness or near fainting shortly after a post-meal walk. When monitored, doctors observed a significant dip in their cerebral blood flow, meaning the brain simply wasn't getting enough. A friend of mine, Harold, who is 72, used to have a set evening routine. Dinner at 6, walk at 6:30. Over time, he began noticing headaches and a strange fluttering in his chest about halfway through his walk. It turned out he wasn't giving his body enough time to process his meal. Once he shifted his walks to 45 minutes after eating, the symptoms vanished. The takeaway is simple. Walking is wonderful, but timing is key. Give yourself at least 45 minutes to an hour after eating, especially if it was a large meal. And if you're feeling particularly full, it's perfectly fine to skip the walk for that day. There's always tomorrow. Now, let's turn to something that is often outside our control, but entirely within our ability to prepare for. The very environment you walk in could be working against you. Let's step outside for a moment, because when it comes to walking safely, the temperature can be just as important as your pace or posture. Think back to the last time you walked on a scorching summer afternoon or a chilly winter morning. It probably didn't feel quite right. Extreme weather, whether it's intense heat or biting cold, places extra stress on your body, particularly your heart and blood vessels. When it's hot, your blood vessels dilate to help you cool down. While this is a natural process, for older adults, especially those with high blood pressure, it can lead to dehydration and a drop in blood pressure that leaves you feeling dizzy or faint. And if you're taking medications like diuretics or beta blockers, this effect can be even more pronounced. Now, let's imagine a cold day. In chilly weather, your blood vessels do the opposite. They constrict. This tightening of the arteries can cause your blood pressure to spike suddenly, especially if you're walking uphill or against a strong wind. This sudden surge is risky for people with narrowed arteries. The American Heart Association has noted that the risk of stroke tends to rise during the colder months, partly due to these vascular reactions. A study published in their journal, Stroke, revealed that people over 65 are more likely to have strokes on days with large temperature swings as the body struggles to adjust. I know a retired teacher, Mary, who is 68. She used to walk every morning, rain or shine. One winter, she stepped out on a 40-degree day, thinking she'd be fine. 10 minutes into her route, she felt a tightness in her chest and had to sit down. Luckily, a neighbor saw her and got help. Her blood pressure had spiked dangerously from the combination of cold and exertion. The good news is, you can manage this risk. In hot weather, walk early in the morning or closer to sunset, and always bring water. In the cold, dress in layers, warm up indoors first, and consider shorter walks. And most importantly, if the weather feels extreme, it's always okay to stay inside. Your safety comes first. Coming up, we'll look at how the ground beneath your feet might be doing more harm than you realize. We rarely pay attention to it, the ground we walk on. It might seem like just a part of your neighborhood trail, but uneven, sloped, or bumpy terrain can quietly raise your risk of something far more serious than a twisted ankle. When you walk on hilly or rough surfaces, your body has to work harder to maintain balance. Your heart rate increases more quickly, your breathing becomes more labored, and your leg muscles engage more deeply to keep you steady. While that extra exertion can feel like a good workout, for seniors with high blood pressure or fragile blood vessels, it can quickly become risky. Here's why. Sudden changes in physical effort can cause sharp spikes in blood pressure. If you're already dealing with weakened arteries, that surge could potentially lead to a rupture, what doctors call a hemorrhagic stroke. Even more, if there's plaque buildup in your arteries, the extra physical demand could dislodge a piece of it, creating a clot that might travel to the brain and cause an ischemic stroke. Researchers at the University of California studied older adults walking on different surfaces. They found that when participants walked uphill or on uneven ground, their systolic blood pressure rose significantly more than when walking on a flat surface. That sudden increase might only last for a few minutes, but for someone with vascular vulnerabilities, that's enough to trigger danger. I remember Jim, a 74-year-old who loved hiking in the hills behind his house. One day, after a particularly steep climb, he suddenly felt weak and confused. He sat down, but something just wasn't right. He was diagnosed with a minor stroke, and his doctor later explained that the combination of exertion and heat had pushed his blood pressure too high, too quickly. To protect yourself, choose flat, even walking paths whenever possible, like those in local parks or on quiet sidewalks. If you enjoy the challenge of a hill, take it slowly, stop often, and monitor how you feel. And if your doctor has advised you that your blood pressure is unstable, it's best to avoid steep paths altogether. Next, we'll cover one final walking mistake. It's incredibly common, yet so easy to fix. It has everything to do with what you're not doing before your walk. This is a habit almost no one talks about, yet it affects every single walk you take. Hydration, or more specifically, the lack of it. Walking while even slightly dehydrated can quietly set the stage for something far more serious than fatigue. It can thicken your blood and raise your risk of clots. Here's how it works. When you're not well hydrated, your blood becomes more concentrated, thicker. This thicker blood flows more slowly and is more prone to forming clots. For an older person, especially with a history of high cholesterol or vascular disease, this can create a perfect storm. And the danger doesn't always appear during the walk itself. It often creeps in afterward, when your body is resting and recovering. During the night, your body naturally slows down. Your heart rate drops, and blood flow becomes more sluggish. If your blood is already thick from dehydration earlier in the day, that slower flow can allow tiny clots to form. If one of those clots travels to your brain while you sleep, it can trigger a stroke without warning. This is why so many strokes happen in the early morning hours. A study published in the journal Neurology found a clear link between low fluid intake and an increased risk of ischemic stroke in older adults. People who consistently drank less than 1.5 liters of water a day had significantly higher clot formation markers in their blood. It's a silent risk, but a very real one. I remember one woman, Betty, 76, who was always on top of her fitness. She walked every afternoon and ate well, but she disliked drinking water. One night, after her usual walk, she felt fine. But early the next morning, she woke up with slurred speech and weakness on one side. She'd had a minor stroke. Her doctor later told her that chronic dehydration, especially after exercise, had likely been a contributing factor. So here's what you can do. Before you go for a walk, drink a glass of water. After you return, drink another. It doesn't have to be a gallon. Just 8 to 16 ounces on either side of your walk can make a world of difference. And remember, if you're sweating or walking in the heat, you'll need even more. Now that we've explored these 6 surprising habits, let's wrap up with a warm thought. Walking is a gift. Simple, free, and healing. But like any gift, it comes with a responsibility. The way we walk, when we walk, and how we prepare our bodies can either support our health or slowly chip away at it. The habits we've discussed today may seem small, but over time, they carry real weight, especially as we grow older. Remember, walking should bring peace, not pressure. With just a few thoughtful adjustments, staying hydrated, choosing the right time, and paying attention to posture, you can keep your walks safe, energizing, and truly beneficial. No drastic changes are needed, just a little more awareness and a lot more care. Have you ever wondered if the way you're sitting right now could be quietly putting your life at risk? Imagine this. You're settled in your favorite armchair, the TV is on, a warm drink in hand. It seems harmless, doesn't it? But what if I told you that something as routine as sitting could be silently increasing your chances of having a stroke? Today, we're going to gently open a door to a topic that rarely gets the spotlight. How some of our most common sitting habits might be quietly harming our health. But please, don't worry. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness, and about small changes that can make a big difference. This is just a conversation about habits, comfort, and your well-being. So let's take a closer look at the first habit, one that is more dangerous than most people realize. It's a habit so ordinary we don't even question it, just sitting still for long stretches of time. Perhaps you're curled up on the couch watching a favorite movie or sitting at the kitchen table chatting with family. It all feels harmless, even comforting. But when we stay in one position for too long, especially without moving our legs, we may unknowingly be setting the stage for danger. You see, when we sit motionless, the blood flow in our body slows down, especially in our lower limbs. It's like a river with no current. Eventually, things begin to settle. This slow flow makes it easier for blood to thicken and form clots. If one of those clots breaks free and travels to the brain, it can block the blood supply and cause a stroke. What's most troubling is that this often happens without warning, and it can start quietly while we're simply enjoying our usual routine. But sitting isn't the enemy. Stillness is. Our bodies thrive on movement. It doesn't have to be intense, it just needs to happen. Start with simple changes. Every 30 to 60 minutes, just stand up, stretch your legs, or take a few steps. If you're watching TV, use the commercial breaks as a cue to move. Even small actions like flexing your ankles or wiggling your toes while seated can help pump blood through your veins. Another easy trick is to keep a water bottle beside you. Not only will you stay hydrated, which is essential for healthy circulation, but it gives you a natural reason to stand up and refill it. So, the next time you find yourself settling in for a cozy afternoon, remember that a few moments of movement can quietly protect your health. Now, let's move on to a sitting habit that may seem elegant or relaxed, but carries its own hidden risks. It's something almost all of us have done without a second thought: crossing our legs while we sit. It feels natural, even graceful. But sitting with your legs crossed for long periods can create hidden problems for your circulation. When you cross one leg over the other, you place extra pressure on the veins in your lower limbs. This can reduce the smooth flow of blood back to your heart. Over time, this strain can contribute to what's called venous insufficiency, which simply means blood isn't flowing properly through the veins. And if poor circulation leads to blood pooling, it can increase the risk of a clot. It doesn't stop there. Crossing your legs can also slightly raise your blood pressure. Researchers have found that the act of compressing those major blood vessels can create a ripple effect in your circulation. While the change might seem minor, when repeated for hours every day, it adds up. So, what can you do? The first step is awareness. Simply notice how often you cross your legs. If it's your go-to sitting style, try alternating which leg is on top, or even better, work toward keeping both feet flat on the floor. Placing a small cushion or a footrest beneath your feet can create a surprising sense of comfort while guiding you into a healthier posture. It may feel a little different at first, but it's a small change your body, especially your veins, will thank you for. And you don't have to stay perfectly still. Gently massaging your calves or rotating your ankles from time to time can awaken your circulation, encouraging blood to flow just as it should. This isn't about forbidding yourself from ever crossing your legs again. It's simply about not lingering in any single position for too long. Next, let's consider a habit that quietly affects not just your legs, but the very path blood takes to your brain. It's a posture that sneaks up on nearly all of us: slouching. Whether we're lost in a book, scrolling on a phone, or simply tired, it's easy to let our back round and our head hang forward. This posture often feels relaxed, almost comforting. Yet it can silently interfere with one of your body's most vital functions: the steady flow of blood to your brain. When we let our head drop forward, we compress the delicate vessels in our neck, the main highways that deliver oxygen-rich blood to our brain. Over time, even mild compression can reduce this flow, forcing the brain to work harder for the resources it needs. For some, this might manifest as occasional dizziness, fuzzy thinking, or a dull headache. But over the years, it can contribute to more serious concerns, especially when combined with other risk factors. There's another layer to this. A forward-tilting head becomes structurally heavier. The average human head weighs about 10 pounds, but as it leans forward, the strain on the neck multiplies. This constant tension can lead to stiff shoulders, an aching spine, and long-term alignment issues that make healthy blood flow even more challenging. But here is the encouraging part. Our posture can be gently and gradually corrected. This isn't about sitting perfectly straight like a soldier. It's about small, kind adjustments. Try a chair with good back support, or tuck a small cushion behind your lower back. Keep your book or screen at eye level, so your head can remain upright. If you've been looking down for a while, take a moment to pause, roll your shoulders back, and lift your chin. A minute or two is all it takes to make a real difference. Even a single deep breath while sitting tall can help reset your body. So the next time you feel yourself curling forward, simply smile, ease back, and give your brain the clear, open pathway it deserves. Now, let's explore another common habit, one that subtly throws your body off balance. It's a posture that can seem casual, even stylish. Sitting with one leg tucked beneath you, or always crossing the same leg over the other. Perhaps you always tuck your right leg under, or lean onto one hip. It might feel comfortable, even second nature. But over time, this uneven posture can create a quiet storm within your body. When you consistently place more weight on one side, your pelvis, the very foundation of your torso, begins to tilt. As it shifts out of alignment, your spine, hips, and muscles all scramble to compensate for the imbalance. This can lead to pinched nerves and compressed veins, slowing down circulation and hindering the return of blood from your legs to your heart. You might feel the signals, a tingling in one leg, a numb foot, or a persistent stiffness in your lower back. These are gentle nudges from your body, telling you that something is out of balance. So, what is the fix? It begins with awareness. The next time you catch yourself favoring one side, gently shift your weight and plant both feet on the floor. If this feels unfamiliar, try placing a small cushion under your hips for even support. On a soft couch, a firm pillow can help keep your pelvis level. And remember the simple power of movement. Standing up to walk around, even for just a minute, resets your posture and allows your body to find its neutral, healthy alignment. It's never too late to create new, more balanced habits. This isn't about achieving perfection. It's about giving your body the fair, stable foundation it needs to rest. Let's turn now to a choice that many of us make without a second thought, especially at home. It's not about how you sit, but what you're sitting on. That cozy armchair that swallows you whole, or the kitchen stool you perch on for your morning coffee. Could they be quietly restricting your blood flow? A chair that is too low or too soft can affect your circulation in ways that compound over time. When a chair is too low, your knees often end up higher than your hips. While it might seem comfortable, this position puts pressure on the underside of your thighs, right where major blood vessels are working to carry blood back to your heart. When these pathways are compressed, blood flow can slow, leading to pooling in the lower legs and, over time, swelling, or even the risk of clots. Combine this with poor back support, which encourages slouching, and you have the perfect storm for circulation issues. But you don't have to banish your favorite chair. Instead, you can make a few gentle modifications. Check the height. Your hips should be level with, or slightly higher than, your knees. If your chair is too low, a firm cushion can provide the lift you need. If your feet dangle, a footrest or even a stack of sturdy books can offer support. For your back, a small rolled towel tucked into the curve of your spine can encourage its natural alignment. And of course, try to get up every half hour or so to stretch. Comfort doesn't have to come at the expense of your health. With a few thoughtful adjustments, your favorite seat can support both your relaxation and your well-being. Finally, let's consider a factor that has less to do with your posture and more to do with your surroundings. Have you ever found yourself sitting in a chilly room, perhaps near a drafty window in winter or directly under a strong air conditioner? While it might feel refreshing at first, a cold environment can quietly challenge your circulation. When your body feels a chill, it instinctively narrows the blood vessels near the skin of your arms, legs, hands, and feet. This is a clever survival mechanism to conserve heat and protect your vital organs. However, as these vessels constrict, blood flow slows down. This sluggish circulation in your extremities can increase the risk of clotting. You may have felt the warning signs yourself: fingers or toes that feel numb, legs that feel heavy, or a sudden shiver. These are signals that your circulation is compromised. While it may seem harmless, repeated exposure to cold can strain your cardiovascular system over time. The solution is beautifully simple. Stay warm. This doesn't mean overheating your home. It can be as easy as draping a blanket over your lap, wearing cozy socks, or dressing in layers. If you're near a draft, a curtain or a rolled towel at the base of a door can make a difference. Even sipping a warm drink can gently encourage better circulation. Remember that comfort is not just a feeling, it's a state of healthy function. By keeping warm, you help your blood move freely, allowing your heart to work less and your mind to stay sharp. As we reflect on these quiet, everyday habits, you might be thinking about how you've been sitting today, or even for years. Please know, this is not about guilt. It is about awareness. Understanding that something as simple as how and where you sit can affect your health is empowering. It gives you the power to make small, different choices, one moment at a time. Your body has carried you through a lifetime of memories, challenges, and joys. It deserves to be supported with comfort and care. Whether you choose to stand up more often, adjust your posture, or simply bring a warm blanket to your favorite reading corner, every small step is a victory. You don't have to change everything at once. Just pick one thing that feels easy and begin there. Your future self will thank you, in the quiet language of stronger circulation, fewer aches, and a greater sense of well-being. Take good care of yourself. You are worthy of it.